This video shows how to install the H2OGFOGGER evaporative cooling system on your motorcycle. You will need to pause at each section, then restart once that step is completed. To begin, unpack your components and ensure all listed items are included. Contact H2OGFOGGER.com with any issues. Start the installation by parking the motorcycle on a flat surface, ensuring it is cool enough to work on. Determine where and which side you want the reservoir and pump on. Try several areas in the saddlebag to determine the most efficient use of space. The pump should be mounted with the in and out fittings pointing downward and may be mounted to the reservoir or any location to maximize space. There are examples of both Harley-Davidson and Indian motorcycles for your reference. Once you determine the best location for the reservoir and pump, determine which side of the top of the reservoir you want the suction line to enter the tank. Drill a 1/4 inch hole in that location for the water line. The reservoir and pump can then be removed until later in the process. If your motorcycle has a trickle charger line, the SAE 2-pin connector on the pump unit will simply plug into this connector. Most motorcycles have this installed. If no trickle charger line is previously installed, see your owner's manual and connect the included SAE 2-pin connector wire from the battery to the pump unit. Depending on the saddlebag configuration, a hole may need to be drilled to run the wire from the battery to inside the saddlebag. Run the included tubing from inside the saddlebag through the same hole as the SAE 2-pin connector, down under the motorcycle, and up front to the center of the handlebars. Ensure there are a few extra feet of tubing in the saddlebag area, as this will be cut to the proper length later. Route the tubing where it is out of sight, making sure to avoid hot areas as much as possible. Depending on the configuration, some components may need to be removed in the fairing area. If so, see your owner's manual for instructions on removal and reinstallation. If components are removed, ensure all reinstallation follows the manufacturer's specifications. Secure the tubing to the motorcycle with the included zip ties, but do not tighten them at this time. There are examples of both Harley-Davidson and Indian motorcycles for your reference. Now, run 2 pieces of tubing from the center of the handlebars to the left and right side, approximately 16 inches in length. This is typically after the first bend in the handlebar, but short of the hand grip mechanisms. Cut the tubing, ensuring a straight and clean cut. Next, slide the included copper wire inside the tubing and cut to the same length. The copper wire allows the operator to easily adjust the misting heads so that once positioned, they will stay in place for maximum system efficiency. Fasten the tubing to the handlebar with the included zip ties. Do not tighten all the zip ties until later. Connect the tubing firmly into the T-connector and tighten the zip ties, working your way outward towards the hand grip area. Regarding the T-connector, ensure there are no restrictions in completely turning the handlebars from side to side. Cut the tubing and the copper wire to the desired length, ensuring a clean, straight cut. Depending on the handlebar, about 12 inches out from the center after the first bend in the handlebar is preferable. Remember, you can always cut it shorter later on, once you become more familiar with the system. Connect the straight connector and 45-degree elbow to the outside end of the tubing. Do not install the misting heads at this time until the system is run to flush out any debris. Tighten the previously installed zip ties on the main tubing, working your way back to the reservoir and pump in the saddlebag. The dual lock fastening tape is included to hold the system in place. Cut 4 strips at 7 inches and 4 strips at 4 inches in length. Removing the backing on 2 7-inch strips, place the fastening tape to the flattest portion on the back of the reservoir. A hard, smooth surface is important in order to allow the dual lock tape to adhere. Then place the remaining two 7-inch strips to the previously installed tape, snapping the fastener strips together. Remove the backing on these strips and mount the reservoir where desired. Press firmly for at least 30 seconds to ensure a strong bond. Repeat this procedure for the pump unit using the 4-inch strips of dual lock. The pump should be mounted with the in and out fittings down and can be mounted on the reservoir or another smooth, dry surface. Preferably it is in a tucked away location to keep it protected. Place a remaining section of tubing into the reservoir through the previously drilled hole on the top side of the reservoir. Pull the end that is in the reservoir through the fill opening and connect the included copper water filter connector. Then, reinsert the tube back into the reservoir, ensuring it reaches the bottom. If desired, a 6-inch piece of copper wire may be inserted inside the tubing in the reservoir to hold it straight and ensure it stays on the reservoir bottom. This is optional and not required in all cases. Next, run the other end of the tubing to the pump, and after leaving approximately 1 extra foot of length, cut the tubing. Ensure it is a clean, straight cut. Connect firmly into the fitting on the pump that reads, in. Run the tubing to the pump, and, leaving approximately 1 extra foot of tubing, cut the line coming from the handlebars to the desired length. Ensure it is a clean, straight cut. Connect this tube firmly into the fitting on the pump that reads, out. Next, place the reservoir and pump back in the saddlebag in the desired location. Determine the best location for the remote control. This can easily be mounted directly to the fairing or use the included remote mounting plate. If using the included remote mounting plate, remove and replace the screw on the hand grip. The mounting plate is reversible and can be mounted top, bottom, left, or right. Once in place, torque any mounting bolts back to manufacturer's specifications. Cut 2 strips of the dual lock fastener to 1 3/8 inches long. You must hear the 2 pieces of dual lock snap together, or it is not fully secure. Remove the backing tape and place on the flat surface of the back of the remote. Snap the other strip of tape to the dual lock, remove the backing tape, and place in the desired area. Press firmly for at least 30 seconds to ensure a strong bond. While the remote control is extremely weather resistant, it is recommended to store it in a dry location when not in use. Therefore, place a small section of dual lock fastener in the saddlebag for secure storage. Store the remote in this location when not in use. Using the included expandable funnel, fill the reservoir with water. Turn the system on by pushing the lower right button on the remote control, marked with a square. It can take a minute or so for water to work its way through the system. Flush the system out for at least 30 seconds. Turn the unit off by pushing the lower left button on the remote control, marked with a lock. Install the misting heads by screwing them firmly into the 45-degree fittings in the connectors on the handlebars. Turn the system on again by pushing the lower right button. The pump always starts at low speed and can be changed with the up and down arrows on the remote. Push the up button once for medium, and once again to high. Follow this same order with the down arrow to lower the pump speed. Inspect all fittings to ensure there are no leaks. If a leak is observed, shut the system off and check to ensure all fittings are fully inserted and the tubing end is cut square and clean. Refer to the included safety and operating instructions if you need to separate the tubing from the fittings. The expandable funnel can be collapsed and stored in the saddlebag. Your H2OGFOGGER evaporative cooling system is ready to operate. See your operating instructions for proper use. Enjoy your ride.